been to the selectmen meetings or you've been to town meetings, then you have seen this man speaking up for the seniors, George Sanders. And George, you know, you have been an advocate for the seniors for many years, at least since I've known you. So how many years has it been, actually?
Well, I first came here in 1997. So I really started in 1998 when the selectmen asked me to straighten out a few things that was going on with the Council on Aging, one being the previous company that was transporting the seniors to their medical appointment, he closed up or whatever it was, and then Mark came into the picture. So that was Tim Gardner was the town administrator at the time, and they knew that I had background in transportation, so they asked me if I would set the program up for them, and I did. Mm-hmm. And the next thing was that I guess I did such a great job about that, they ended up asking me if I would straighten out this tax work-off program for the seniors. Now, that was a task because, for one, they had so much stuff that was going on among the seniors, those that want to work and those that got the opportunity to sign up. It was like the early bird that got the worm, you know, that's the one that was on the list, and it seemed to be the same one year after year. And they had a running list. And if you was on that running list, you know, there was never a chance for you to get on. That's what I've seen for like about 3 years that had went on there. So I went in and says, hey, you know, the easiest thing to do is to set up a time period that everybody can just come in and sign up, and everybody will get an equal share piece of the pie. Yep. We'll come out with the number of hours based on the number of people, and that's the way I did, and that's the way it is till today.
Yeah, yeah.
So
they found you, or did you find them in the beginning? Because you knew all this stuff, but they didn't know that you knew. So did you just come into the town office and say, I just moved here and I know this and I'd like to help? Because you went right for the seniors.
Well, I sort of kind of went in and saw Miss Sabota, and I sort of kind of told her I was an advocate for seniors. Good. And, you know, if there was anything, she said, oh, that's great, you know. Yeah. So I started from there, and I went to a few of the COA board meetings, and I was sort of kind of asked to help her out. Sure. In the office there on some administrative issues that was also going on. As you know, it was kind of hard for the COA to stay in budget because they had such a small amount of money to deal with, and it seemed that they was always overspending. Yeah. So that was the case there.
Like other departments that seem to do that too. But then, you know, you went on to, you were president of the, or chairman of the Council on Aging for a while too. So, you know, people sometimes are afraid or don't take the time to come in and say, I know how to do this and I'd like to help. But I know that you do that wherever you live or whatever town you know people in, because I've seen that. But of course, Littleton is where you live, so it was a good chance to come in and help out because you saw what was going on, and you know what's going on right to today. And so today is what we talk about a lot, and that is getting the seniors a senior center, and you have a lot of ideas about that too. And so today I thought maybe people would like to hear what you are thinking, since you're so active with the seniors.
Well, you know, Barbara, it's one of the things that there's a tendency to ask seniors to vote for you. And, you know, politicians normally make promises after promise after promises of doing this and that. You know, when they get elected, there's a tendency for them to sort of kind of fade away and sort of kind of forget, you know, what they told you that they would do. And here in Littleton, you know, I realized the struggle that the Friends, primarily, more so than the town, has been the element that has been pushing and saying we need a place for our seniors. And I say that, you know, we're fortunate that we have such a active friend nonprofit organization here in the town that has supported the seniors as well as supported the town in a lot of the endeavors that the seniors has been had needs for. And I always said that, you know, it's easy to talk about things, but it's sort of kind of hard to get people that want to do things. And I find that, you know, I like to call a spade and say exactly what it is that I feel, so you don't have to shy away and thinking that, you know, this or that. You say one thing, this, you know, I'm a man to my word, and I believe, and that's what I tell you. And I think that as far as the selectments, and there's been those that came and gone, they haven't elected the seniors in this town. When you look at the surrounding communities, Groton, I think, is at 3 places before they finally build a new place. You got Westford, same deal. You got Air. You know, all these places have a location where they seniors can go and enjoy and fellowship with other seniors and so forth, and have activities there that the seniors would like to participate in. The biggest thing that you have here that they like to participate in is, of course, yeah, they like the bingo, which is on Fridays. You know, but that's in the dining facility, and that's okay. But when I first came here, they had one room, and I think that was room 230. They had all the knitting and everything else, and they had the closets in there and everything. They stuck up the space and everything. And they just had the one, and that was it, other than the office space that they had. That increased a little bit after Mr. Berkman came in and they decided they wanted to renovate the 3rd floor up there, and they took from conservation the room that we got, I think 233, was conservation. I remember when conservation, they would get all excited if the room was left, the chairs wouldn't put back under the table and everything. You know, it was just like it was a fuss box. Using some space of somebody else, just because I mean, it was just a big room with a big table there that you could put 10 or 12 chairs around. If the chairs wasn't straight all around there, you know, they had a problem with it. They didn't want to let you use the room and so forth. But a lot of that stuff sort of kind of went away when they did the renovation. We was able to get another room, and I was able to take some senior workers and work the weekend and stuff, because my wife went to the Philippines for 5 weeks. And I was back here, so I worked the weekend and so forth, and we had a contract to come in and build some cabinets, which the Friends ended up donating the money to have that done. And that's how we ended up getting a little bit more space. And
I also know that you built the cabinet for the books that we and tapes that we have in the hall that people, and then I think, didn't you or you have someone build the cabinets in the hall down near the studio, in fact. So I can see that you've been trying to add space for us, but after you saying we had one room, now we have 2. So it's like time to work at, you know, getting more space. And it looks like the selectmen have been getting together and trying to do that. You know, they talk about it. They've had the architects come in and give their renditions of what they think the Shattuck Street building should be like, a new building should be like, and but of course, you know, all of it's going to take time. So, and what I always really want to see is, I see you out there, you know, working towards it, but we need seniors out there, or maybe not even seniors, people, Littletonians coming out and helping get these things done for the seniors, you know, because you can't do it all by yourself. I know you try, but because you're there at everything, telling, you know, talking about what you think should happen, like today.
Well, you know, Barbara, the thing that really sort of kind of amazes me is the fact that we have selectmen that just not willing to stand up and do what needs to be done for the seniors. They do a lot of talking, and they tend to spend money with these architects. That's wasting money, because I think the money they spent with LLB was wasting money. The time lapse that it taken them to come up with information that really didn't provide that much. Seemed like they went on a cherry picking of different things to tell the town about, and not really concentrate into the things that they say. For instance, we got the $3 million they said for the senior center. Okay, now here's what the town could do, and I've talked to a few engineers as to what's what. They talked about, you know, wanting not to have the senior center away from the main town offices, and they want a campus concept.
Right.
And that's why they have the library started over here on the back side here with the ball field and so forth. But the truth of the matter is that they can't build on the other side, so you can't go down there and put up 2 or 3 more buildings over this cliff back here. So I think that's a waste of money, because just to go in there and put the foundation and stuff in there, if you did, God knows what you run into, because I understand that was a burying ground before.
Oh, really?
Back there. So, know. You know, you're going to have to get into E21, E22, environmental issues there and so forth. The easiest thing for the town to do is that the town hall building is a solid building, okay? It's a solid building, no ifs, ands, buts about it. The easiest thing to do, since when the library moves over into the new library, you're going to have that space open there. What they need to do is get an architect engineer to come and take that side, the library, and see exactly how much space is it that the town wants throughout this building. It's easy to add 3 walls to the town building on the side of Shattuck Street. First of all, you don't interfere with any of the parking space that they're talking about that they're going to need and want for the library, to include the parking for the town people here that works at the town hall. And the other thing it would do, it wouldn't cause any interference with the operation of the town, because you'd be on that side of the building, which is going on the west end there, and you take the north end, and that's where you would add 3 walls to that. The other thing is, you don't have to buy any land. The land is right there. Everything that you spend money-wise would be into building the add-on to this building, and to renovating the library, the old library area, as well as renovating on this end, which would be the east end of the building. Once you got that side set up, you could transfer people over onto that side, which would be the completed Newell area of the town hall and do the renovation back on this side of the east side of the building as to what needs to be done that's calculated into the amount of space. So all monies that will go into the town hall building will go into the renovation and the addition adding on to the building.
Right.
And there's no reason why on God's green earth here that the selectmen will not step forth and do this, but yet instead, let me just say this, yet instead, they're out wanting to do the master plans of this, and this, and like the smart sewer system, they're all eager to go out there. They tell you that the user is going to pay for it. Let me be very simple and clear. Whatever the town builds, taxpayers is liable for it.
Yeah.
And for them to push so much effort into the smart sewer system, put $3 million over here in a holding pattern, and not doing anything about putting a center by adding some space onto this building, you know, to me, it's unconscious that they will leave us and do us that way. And I think it's time that the people need to wake up in Littleton and say, look, you spend a lot of money in this town. You spend on the police station, the fire station, you know, the schools. You know, what is wrong with you taking and adding on to this building? You don't have to buy anything, Barbara.
Yeah. Well, you know what though, George? I'm thinking while you're talking that you've looked into it so much, talking to people who know, about what could be done. So you're taking the time to look into the details. I think that sometimes the town fathers depend on somebody else to look into the details so that it'll be done. And, but you're thinking, you want to think logically, you know, that's probably a problem because you're thinking logically and saying, you know, this can be done. We can do it in this amount of time. We can use that kind of money. It's over. We've got what we want, but we have to go through politics and
well, the politics, you know, you can always have politics in just about everything there is. But dragging your feet, I don't buy it. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, the selectmen been dragging their feet, and I would tell them in a heartbeat, you have. There's no excuse for what you've been doing. Yeah. You know, you're saying, yeah, well, we got to do this. Yeah, you already spent money here on architect out here telling you this, that, and so forth. Mm-hmm. We was looking forward to the DCU building, and they come back and say, oh, well, no, you shouldn't do that. No, you can't. I don't know. We would have to do this and do that. Yeah, so the town sort of kind of, at this point, sort of kind of saying, well, no, we're not going to do the DCU building. They thought back some time ago, yeah, we would like to do this, and that would help alleviate some problems. But nevertheless, the thing that we have now is that we have a selectman board that's inactive, not doing anything with regard to getting a senior center. And the reason I said that is because it doesn't take a rocket engineer, okay, to figure out how they could add 3 walls onto this building on the north side and get the space that is needed and renovate the old library and renovate other areas of this building, and you'll have the complex that they want. Well, you know, it's a senior center with all the amenities, including all the town office. You don't have to go wandering over across here, over across there, or do this or do that. Yeah. You know, they could even at that point in time, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they could the light and water could have a representative, with an office space in the town building. You can pay your bill here. You don't have to drive over there, over there. Yeah. So, there's a lot of things that they could do to improve and have, the one-stop shop concept.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I guess that, those ideas come later, even though they've worked on these plans for the, from the architects and everything, probably, they've been looking at it. Maybe they're going to reconsider a few things if they get ideas like what you're talking about. So it's, I have no answers.
I have answers, Barbara. They dragging their feet, for one, and they take too long to do things. Okay, and the process here is that you need good sound information. Well, what we need to do is say this is the building that we want to, renovate, enlarge, add additional space to it. Okay, we ain't got no other buildings here or there that we want. So you get a architect engineer, concentrate how much space you want. We want 27,000 square feet. Okay? Yeah. And taking and subtracting the space you got over here in the library, you can probably only increase a small amount of space throughout the building here. But the fact is that the rest of it will fall into, we can add 3 walls to this building and we can get the space that's needed and it will accommodate everybody. The thing is, they don't want to, it's like the library jumped ahead of the senior center, and got in there. So there ain't too many things that you get that the state is going to give you money, to build. Schools are one, and the library is the other one. The reason I support the library, as you had mentioned to me, I supported the library because the state was going to give us that amount of money, and nobody else in any other project you get, the state ain't going to give you any money except when it comes to the school. School. Yeah. So my thing was that, library, you got it in front of us, all right, so be it, you got what you want. Now, you get Park and Rec now. Yeah. They want to jump and say, well, we need this, we need that. We're enterprise entity, and we need this and we need that, and so forth and so on. First and foremost, they're a partial enterprise that is still being supported by the state. They're not set up like Littleton Light and Water is set up as an enterprise. So the thing is that I sort of kind of wonder are they trying to compete and take over from the school and say they can do a better job than our schools are doing? So all these courses and everything that they're doing, it's like, that's fine to have certain things in the community that Park and Rec wants to do, Yeah. But the key thing here is we have schools here that has the responsibility of teaching our children. So if they have extra curriculum things that you want to sign your kids up with to do during the summer and so forth, I don't have a problem with that. But don't take and jump in and try to knock another element out that's been around for a long time, that has been given and given and given. When it came to the school, when it came to the police station or the fire station, the seniors been there. Seniors are the people that vote. Yeah. And they pay their taxes. And it's time that we get some service from this town. And I think that since the library is now moved out, I think the selectmen need to get their head together and say, this is the building that we're going to work and spend to put some money in. So now they're talking about the smart sewer system. It's up like around 27 point some million, and there's some information that wasn't calculated in, and they're talking about, like adding 1.5 here, another million here. So, you know, like I did in the show early here, I'm telling you, this thing can go up to $30 million. Before, I think it was at 35, and they said, oh, they backed it off. Well, the truth of the matter is that we could take and add on to this town building, give the seniors some area that they need that belongs to the seniors.
Yeah. Well,
And not saying that we don't share, because everything in the town belongs to the people, so you have the right, you know, to share and to utilize some space here and there. But don't try to knock the seniors. I am tired of the seniors getting knocked
yeah.
with other projects that people want this and they want that and they want this. Well, you know, we want this too.
I know.
And I don't mind telling you, and I think they said the weakest chain in the link, and it's the selectmen. They're the weakest chain in the link.
Well, what I want to do is I want us to leave this on the note that you have told what you feel, you know, is right to do for the seniors. You got a plan. Now we need to see if somebody listens and looks into it, or if they have been looking into it. I think that you have a high note there where you're, again, out there for the seniors, and I don't think it's going to stop.
When you talk about
anytime
politics, you hear this side, that side, this side, and so forth and so on. I have the utmost respect for our selectmen. Don't get me wrong. I have the utmost respect for them. But when you're not performing for the people and doing for the people, then you're not doing the job that they selected you to do. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I think that, like I said, we'll leave it on that note. And
Right.
You were able to say exactly what you think. I think that, and I respect you for that, because we need a lot of seniors out there, and like I said, all ages out there saying, yeah, let's do this, or let's get this.
And lastly, Barbara, I've never heard a cry so valid of any community when it comes to the seniors. The seniors, there are those that have gone on that probably looking down upon us now and saying that, you know, I wish I was there to help them.
Yeah.
Because so many communities have advanced, and here we are still stuck.
Yeah.
And you know, it's something that I will hope in my lifetime that God give me the health and strength that I will be able to see, you know, this town cut a ribbon for a senior center here. And I think we have it before us now.
Yeah.
And all they need to do is to get the engineer in, tell them what space they need, craft it out, and let's go for it.
Okay. Thanks, George.
Thank you.
Yeah, and of course everybody will be seeing you around for sure. And you'll see when town meeting comes up, I bet you'll be there. So, but thanks again for your opinion on this, and we're with you.
Thank you.